All right, everybody, I'm coming to you from my garage and I've got a confession. Welcome to Safety Update with Sam Watts. I am Sam Watts and I have taken you to some pretty exotic locations. First off, we went to the shop and we did a little walk around of the engine for pre-trip stuff. And then I took you down to Daytona with me where we talked around outside the Daytona Speedway. And now, perhaps maybe the most exquisite location to date, my garage. And you might be thinking, Sam, you might be losing it. And maybe, but not about this, okay? Just stick with me for a second. I do have a point here. One of the reasons why I'm in the garage is because my studio that you guys have all come to know and love is kind of being torn apart. Now, you won't see anything different per se, but I actually got a new computer, which is 10 times better than the one I have been using. So really on your end, you won't see any difference really, but I will see a massive improvement, which is great. I'm really excited about that. And so it's kind of torn apart right now because I've been using a laptop, now it's a desktop. So it's just all kind of in shambles right now. But this actually worked out really well because, as I said in the beginning there, I got a little bit of a confession that I need to make to you guys. And what I want to talk to you today, real quick, we'll make this kind of a brief video, is pre-trips. Okay, you hear me hounding on you guys doing it. Do your pre-trips. Make sure you're doing your pre-trips. Make sure you're doing your post-trips. Okay, walking around, making sure that nothing's leaking, your airs are tired, or your airs are your tires are aired up. I'll get there. Don't worry. See, I might be losing it. But it's such an important factor. And so what I wanted to show you real quick today is what could happen if you don't do a pre-trip. And so one of the confession that I have to make is I didn't do a pre-trip on a piece of equipment that I have, and it could have turned out actually really, really bad. And just kind of shows you guys how quickly things can go wrong, you know, if you don't look at one thing. So what I have here, hopefully you can see this here, because this is my son's go-kart. Okay, we raced it. Championship weekend was this last weekend, and it was a great time. I got a top 5 in my kart. So, and I finished, I think, 12th in the points. But anyways, that's besides the point. Anyways, but here's my son's go-kart, okay? It's a pretty simple machine, but it's a lot of fun. But here's the deal. Okay, so let's see if I can zoom in here. So you see this hole right here? Gonna go right there. That is where a oil cap should be. And the problem is on the second to last lap of my son's race, that oil cap jarred itself loose. And because of that, oil got all over the chain back here and the sprocket and the sprocket guard. And because of that, these bolts right here, which are quick release bolts, got loose because of the oil that was already on that. And then because of that, this sprocket guard here came off and actually broke in half and got wedged up in the engine there. And because of that, it then broke off the oil or the fuel overfill tank. You know, this is supposed to be attached into here, but as you can see, that got completely bent out because this ripped it out. So because I forgot to check the oil cap, all of this happened, okay? And if I would have just gone down and made sure that was snug before the race, this wouldn't look like this. This would be fine. Now, thankfully, the engine was still running when we had to turn them off because we saw the smoke and we got them shut down. So the engine was still running, which means that nothing had seized up on it, which is great because now I don't have to buy a new engine. However, if he would have gone just a half another lap, that engine would have seized up on him and we would be staring at a massive paperweight. Makes sense? Just because I forgot to check the oil cap. Okay, it's not even the oil plug, which is underneath there, but this is just the cap to refill the oil. And because that jarred off, oil came out and just wreaked havoc on a lot of other stuff on that motor. Now, luckily, it was the last race of the season, so we got all season to get everything back in running shape, or we got all off season to do that. But I just wanted to remind you guys just the importance of doing your pre-trips, okay? Why it's important to go around and check the fluids, because if you don't and they're low, how much more could you ruin on the truck? I mean, that's a very simple thing. I'm not even sure if I'm really supposed to check that, but now I'm going to. But just a simple oil plug, and all of that fell apart on me, which is just kind of incredible. The chain reaction, the domino effect that something simple like that is. So when you're doing a pre-trip, make sure, okay? I've had a couple guys ask, like, how long do I have to do a pre-trip for? As long as it takes, okay? That's really the name of the game. However long it takes you to do a proper, thorough pre-trip, checking the oil, checking all the fluids, checking the tires, checking your turn signals. I can't tell you how many times I've seen violations of guys that didn't have lights, that are working. That's common sense, guys. So make sure that when you're doing your pre-trip, that you don't end up like me and forgetting one little part, and then all of a sudden your entire engine almost blows up. Now, I will say the engines on these are a little bit cheaper than they are on a semi-truck, so I wouldn't have been out as much money, but still, regardless, that'd be an expense that I wouldn't have to make, or that I could save and put that money towards maybe new tires or something like that. Right now, it's just so important that we take care of the equipment that we have out there. We have really nice equipment. I don't know if you guys really understand just how nice equipment, I'm sure you do, with all the disc brakes on the trailers and the newer models of the semi-trucks. I mean, we have really good equipment. We want to keep it that way, okay? So make sure that when you're getting ready to get going, take time, okay? Do a good, proper pre-trip, okay? And then on the flip side, do a good post-trip as well. Make sure that everything that was good at the beginning is good at the end, okay? It's not that hard, and it could save, quite frankly, tens of thousands of dollars, and it could save you time, okay? It sure beats, driving down the road sure beats being broke down. Ask anybody that has ever been broke down. It sucks sitting on the side of the road. It sucks sitting at a shop, especially when you're away from home and you got nothing to do. So make sure that you don't do a mistake like I did and forget to check the things that you're supposed to check, okay? Do a proper pre-trip, make sure, and if you have questions on what you should be doing, what you should be looking at, contact me, okay? I can help you out, or I can even point you to guys in the shop that are saying, hey, especially on some of these trucks where they go, this is kind of a goofy part, or you got to watch this, it's just, some of the models have their little quirks, so make sure that you're checking everything that you need to. If you have questions, contact me. Okay, I'd be more than happy to talk to you, making sure that everything is good and taken care of, and making sure that you don't turn our equipment into giant paperweights. Make sense? Okay, we're gonna skip the dash cam video because, like I said, my stuff is torn apart right now. We'll get back to it next week. I'll have a much better computer. Not that you guys will really notice, but I will, and that'll make me a happier dude. So until then, I say this all the time, guys, and I mean it. Make sure that when you're out there that you drive safe.